Hi, this is Peter Schultz, developer of WordPress plugin WP Data Access. In this tutorial I will show you how you can use the WordPress login in your WHERE clause. For this tutorial I will use the Student Administration Demo app, which is right here in front of me. And specifically we will have a look at the student profile page. Now let's have a look at that page first. The table WPDA SAS student is used here, and it will be a type table, so it's not a parent-child, it's only the profile, so the record itself, which is visible to the student. And for my app I've decided to use the role subscriber for students. So whenever you want a student to have access to this page, you have to make sure that that student has the subscriber role. Now let's first have a look at the students in our database. Let's just have a look at the first student, James Butt. Now James Butt, if we want to give James Butt access to his profile, then the first thing we need is we have to give him access to our WordPress environment. So we have to create a user account. That's the first thing that I will do here. I will add a new user, and okay, it's already there. I've already tested this before. James Butt. So please notice that James Butt has the subscriber role. That is in accordance with the page definition. So only subscribers will see the student profile page. Now let's log in as James Butt. We'll use another browser and connect to James Butt. Oh. And there is the James Butt account, the new account. And as you can see, here is my app menu. So the app menu is there. If you don't see the app menu, then either your role in the page, in the data projects page, is different, or the role that you've defined with the user account is not it's at least it's not the same, so they have to be the same. Now let's have a look at the profile, and right now you can see that James Butt is allowed to see all profiles, so he can see all the students. That's not what we want. That is something for the administrator. So we want to give him, we want to restrict access to only his data, James Butt data. Now let's do that. To do that, I go back to the data projects page, which I found here. And I have defined a column already, which is called student underscore WP underscore username. It's already there. And what I will do, I will just set it to James Butt. Just to make sure that James Butt will see his profile. Now save the changes, then I'll go back to his account and then refresh the page. And unfortunately now we don't see any data anymore. So let's get back here and see if we can understand that somehow. Let's have a look again at the student table. So what we see here is that James has a row in the table, a record in the table, but we see that the column student WP username is still empty. Now what we have to do, we have to add his username here to give him access. So if we switch again and refresh the page, he now sees his profile, and he only sees his profile. But there's a problem here, of course. Let's log off and then log in again as student, as from the user account student. This is another student, and this student also has this this add menu and also the profile. But if we look into the profile, it's the same profile as the JamesBot, and that is because we have just defined the where clause as, let's go back to it. So the username must be JamesBot, and that's because this is of course not what we want. So now everyone will see the profile of JamesBot as his or her profile. Now to make sure that everyone sees his own profile, you can use the $user environment variable. So this environment variable will be replaced by the WordPress user login of the actually logged in user. Make sure you don't write it between quotes like this, because that's not going to work. Just do it this way. We'll save it. Now, first I want to check out if JamesBot now is able to still see his own profile. Now let's save it, a bit easier. And as you can see, it's still working. So it's now working with the $user environment variable. Let's log off. Because if this works correctly, now the other students should at least not see the profile of JamesBot, and that is actually what really happens. So that looks right, but of course we want this student to see his or her own profile. So let's go back to the student table, and now let's presume that the student account belongs to Josephine. So let's edit Josephine, her data, and just add here student. So this is the username of student Josephine. Then here the changes, then refresh, and Josephine is now seeing her own profile as well. So students can see their own profiles as long as you have added the username in this column and use this column into the where clause. Over here in the where clause with the $user environment variable. Now there's one thing that I still don't like, and that is this column student WP underscore username in my list and in my form. In my form I need it, of course, at least as an administrator, to make changes, but you can simply hide this column in the data projects tool. So what you have to do then is to, move to the manage table options tab. You click on edit, in this case student table, so the table that you want to change, and now you can see that there is a label that you can define. I didn't change it. I just added the column name to it, but I can uncheck this to hide it from the list. This is for the list, the list table. So let's save it, and then open this in a new tab. And as you can see, that column now disappeared. Now it also disappears on the profile, and that is probably what you want. But if you edit the profile, it is still there. It's still here. Now you can change that as well, but you have to dive a little deeper in the form. Here you can uncheck the column in the data entry form. Save that change, and then you will see that you have hidden that column in the data entry form as well. However, this means that it is hidden in the profile page, but it is also hidden in our data administration page. So that is a bit well, not so nice at this time situation. Therefore, I will add some more functionality in the future to the manage table option, so that you can have multiple options for the same table and then use different option sets in different situations. So in this case, the data administrator will have other options than the student will have. So this is planned for the future. There is another workaround if you want to have this functionality right away. You can use some kind of a relationship table. Okay, if you want to know more about that, just contact me and we'll talk about it. Thanks. That was it.